Back in this John, back in this John. Back in this John, back in this John. I am parched. I am parched. I've been dealing with a little fever lately. And I'm feeling pretty good. I just took some drugs. Ibuprofen, of course. Ibuprofen, of course. And I'm feeling a lot better. Don't mind my cat in the background. She is crazy. Thunder. Be a good kitty. But pretty spontaneous, bro. Back on this John. Finna start playing some games again. I would have been streaming sooner, but I did upload some videos for y'all. And I just got sick, bro. And I've been training for soccer. So, not gonna lie, I've been quite a busy lad, if you know what I mean. But I don't even know what I want to do this stream, bro. Maybe scary stories. I don't know, man. I'm gonna play some games. I recorded footage of Staglands, right? And that joint just got deleted. So I might just continue it from where I left off, which kind of sucks because y'all won't see that. But I'm like at like moon 50. I haven't played in weeks, by the way. Trust me. And it is what it is, bro. I ain't even tripping. Bro. But I hope y'all doing good, bro. My cat is down here crazy. This is still deleting, bro. Yeah, I had to get a new email, man. That joint has like a billion spam. And I'm just not dealing with it. I just don't feel like dealing with that email. I'm gonna go ahead and minimize my image. I could do some legal fufu again. They like flagged my video as well for copyright, so I don't know if I'll watch certain anime fights, bro. They copyrighted it, which means like I can't watch it in certain countries. But I mean, I ain't trying to make no bread off of it. It's already on Crunchyroll, YouTube. How come they didn't get copyrighted? I don't know the laws, bro. I don't know the laws. Here we're gonna go right back to the ghost stories, though. Hope y'all good, bro. Whoever's in here, man. Bless up, bless up. I will be playing some video games in a bit, you know what I'm saying? But that Reddit got me scooped. That Reddit got me spooked, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking left and right like, where am I? Where am I? Is this a decent like image for me, bro? I look light skinned. Like, I just look light skinned, bro. Let me send this to him. I look mad light skinned, bro. My lighting and camera, I mean, I have a decent camera, but maybe it's just the lighting. I'm kind of scared, bro. I'm gonna read 5. I'm gonna do this same exact thing I did last time. I'm gonna just read 5, bro, and I'm gonna reflect. I don't know if I want to read this one. I'm about to go back. I'm not reading that one. Yo, I have some ghost stories too, but I'm not gonna do that on this stream, bro. I might make a video about it. This was 4 days ago. This is crazy, bro. Alright, man. We're about to get spooky. The Fruit Bowl. Sounds very appetizing right now. I need a damn haircut. Alright, I get it, bro. I was supposed to get one today, but I did some shopping. Your boy was hungry. The Fruit Bowl. Before I start, this is a real experience I had about 2 years ago. At the time, I was 14, waiting for my mom to come home from work. After 20 minutes before it happened, I let my cat out the window into my garden to go to the toilet or whatever he was doing. Okay, I'm caught up for sure. After I did that, I sat down on the sofa in my living room and just scrolled on TikTok or watched YouTube. Something along the lines on my phone. Okay. After a while, I hear my cat pawing at the window to come back inside. At this point, nothing was worrying or scary, and it was about half an hour before my mom was due home from work. I get up and let my cat through. Um, I give him a little fuss and move back towards the sofa. As I turn around to sit back down, I didn't realize quick enough, but I was sitting down. I saw in the corner of my eye that an apple from the fruit bowl on the table on the right side of my room, a fairly big room, was suspended mid-air and with just a red fuzz in my eye. As I sat, as I sat, as I sat up, I'm assuming, I turned slightly enough to see the suspended apple, I'd say half a foot above the bowl, drop back down into the bowl and make a fairly loud crash and rolled around in the bowl. Without thinking, I just stood up slowly but didn't move towards the bowl. I looked down and my cat's ears was pulled back and looked shocked as ever. So I knew he heard the crash too, not knowing I hadn't imagined. I sat back down, my whole body shaking and numb. Didn't move until my mom got home. Nothing has happened since that, and nothing happened before that. Was truly terrifying, odd experience. A fairly short situation. How much I wrote, but I wanted the people to read this properly, understand the situation as I reiterate this real life experience. It is not a I had and not a fictional story. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, bro. Like people don't want to believe in you know what I'm saying? I believe in jinn and all that, so you definitely that is a definite weird encounterment. Um Seek help immediately, brother. Do something, man. Get some water, go for a walk, bro. Cause I'm a bitch, bro. I'm gonna let you know right now. I am 100% a bitch. I don't claim nothing. I stay in my road and I don't go out. No sir. I go. I know what I can't do. All right. That is something I don't want to mess with at all. So that's story number one down, man. I'm gonna do another one. And I just be saying five, because sometimes they be long and like I don't feel like reading all the time. Unless like y'all want me to react to something. Alright, we're gonna do low, medium, short John. Alright. The Apple John was alright. I'm saying. Alright. Hauntings. It's already scary, bro. Should I move this more? Should I be this way more? I'll be this way more. Alright, a little more shoulder on this side. And I gotta move my camera. So if I'm pointing this way, yeah, I'm not pointing that way. Anyway, alright, I'll fix that. Basically, I live in a house with 3 floors, ground, first, and loft. I was in a bathroom once, taking a shower once. Just once. When I heard someone knocking on the door, it was my 5-year-old brother because I could hear him giggling. I shouted to go away. 2 minutes later, someone knocked on the door again, and I shouted again, go away. But this time, I only heard footsteps running downstairs. Still wasn't scared or anything, just really annoyed. No cat, bro. I'm trying to shower. I got out of the shower and dried myself off when someone knocked again. I had enough, so I opened the door and yelled, bro, just leave me alone. Knowing he was my brother. When I finished, I went down to the living room and told my brother that he's got to stop doing that. My mom asked me what happened, so I explained the knocking to her. She paused and looked at me for a few seconds. She told me he had been downstairs with her, playing with magnets the whole time. Sure enough, when I turned around, he was playing with his magnets. Also, I sleep on a bunk bed so close to the ceiling that I can reach out. Damn, he's that close to the ceiling, he could literally touch it? It's crazy. The ceiling is also the floor of the loft. Some nights I just hear footsteps or noises coming from upstairs. Everyone tells me it's just mice, but I don't really know. What do you think? Hell nah, that's what I think. And we know what kind of people this is. It's just It's just the too curious type of people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that curious. I was before. Learned my lesson, for sure. And when you really think about it too, like America is like, I'm in America. A lot of stolen property, bro. Oof. I just pulled my damn hair. That's time to get a haircut. There's a lot of stolen property, bro. Like most of it is, I wouldn't say the Native Americans, but there's a lot of battles with the Native Americans, and all this is just, all of this is just really stolen property for real. I mean, that's just really how to put it. It's one of the first pieces of stolen property, and I used to live in Pennsylvania, and that's like really one of the first pieces of stolen property because of the 13 colonies. And if you really want to take it back, bro, you know what I'm saying? That's like one of the first established cities right there, man. Pennsylvania, New York. Um, I don't want to say too much, but they're definitely in there for top 13 for stolen properties. And I remember when I went to Gettysburg, bro, you could just feel the energy, bro. It was like the Battle of Gettysburg. Had to hear of it, but it's definitely crazy, bro. And I'm not gonna be typing nothing to nobody, but y'all stories are definitely getting heard, bro. Hmm. Yo, them childhood apartments be like, I know they be going crazy, bro. All right, childhood apartment experiences. I spent my entire childhood living in one apartment. It's in a building that used to be an ice storage place where you would buy ice blocks before refrigerators existed. What? When was the first refrigerator? What? What? I don't know how to spell refrigerator. Refrigerator. Oops. Refrigerator invented. Oh, it's not typing, bro. 1943. What is this guy talking? Or 19? What did he say? This guy is old as dirt. A refrigerator. This dude has to be like 150. Anyway, bro, the first encounter I had was when I was 4. I remember it vividly. My mom put me to bed for a nap, and being a fussy child, I didn't want to sleep, so I just laid in bed angry. While I'm laying there, I hear my mom's voice gently say my name and tell me to come into her room, thinking that I had won and didn't have to take a nap no more. I happily walked into her room. When I walked in the door, my mom got mad and asked what I was doing out of bed. Okay, that's kind of getting spooky. I told her that she called me in and she said she didn't, and she sent me back. Through my childhood, I had little encounters like every time I was in the main bathroom and everyone was asleep, I would hear someone in heels pacing back and forth in front of the door. And as soon as I opened the door and stopped, I would also get grabbed or touched randomly when I was alone. Call me crazy, but the touching felt like a man with rough hands, and it never happened when a lady in the heels was in front of the bathroom door, as if she was protecting me. Yo, chill, brody. That is crazy. That is crazy. Hold on. That's kind of crazy, bro. I just ruined my stream. Boy. Is it Alt or Control? I don't know. I forget what button it was to What is this button? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, that's crazy, bro. Alright. The aggressive encounters only came from the man, never the woman. One encounter I had with the man was I was sitting on my bed, which was on the side of my room, looking at my dresser, which was on the opposite side. I'm still completely still when a pair of headphones, the big bulky ones from the 90s ish, comes literally flying off my dresser and lands on my feet. At my feet. Another small thing that happened was there is a chair sitting against the wall facing my door. Whenever I would be sitting alone in my room at night, the chair would start creaking as if somebody was in it. Yo, bro, this dude, he said little encounterments, bro. Like, this is, like, these scenes aren't, like, out of a movie. Okay, so the biggest encounterment I've had so far is this. It was around 1 or 2 a.m. I'm bored and can't sleep, so I'm quietly listening to the radio. Yeah, he's definitely old, though. But, like, that's crazy. So he's been around so long to the point where there was no refrigerators, bro. So yeah. Anyway, uh, I'm looking at the ceiling when I feel something. I look in front of me, and at the foot of my bed there is two small children holding hands and looking at me. There was a boy around 9 and a girl around 6. They were dressed in Victorian era clothes, just standing there looking at me. I was fully awake and could fully move my body. They were completely white and gray. When I said hello, they just faded away, and I never saw them again. Oh, whoa! Not sh- Now I'm not sure about most of the presents, but the one I'm pretty sure I know who it is the man in. Oh wait, I know who it is the man in my building. There is a big space in the middle, and there's 8 main floors. I live on the eighth floor. I didn't know it at the time, but a man had recently climbed onto the railing in front of my door and jumped to the bottom and died. I don't know how to explain it, but I just know that's who it is. Call me crazy, I don't care. Damn, dude. That's not good, bro. Suicide is that's never that's never good, man. And that's pretty crazy. Bro, like it's so scary, bro. Like you just see two small kids just looking at you like bro, I'm just bored, bro. Like this is not what I wanted to conjure. That's crazy. See, trigger warning, you know what I'm saying? Maybe off stream. I'm not really gonna do the suicide here on stream, man. I'm not even known yet, but I'm not trying to get canceled. Alright. I'm gonna read one more, man. Can I? Oh, no, I'm not gonna. I can't show that. I don't even. Oh, this is a beefy one. Alright, we're going in, bro. This is my ghost story. This isn't a new story, but it happened sort of recently. So I'll begin by giving some background on myself, since I believe it could have something to do with the incident. I've always had a powerful sort of intuition, not psychic. Whoa, what is that? Or clairvoyant? Clairvoyant? How you? I'm learning words, bro. What is that? How do you,
Clairvoyant.
Golly, she was loud. Clairvoyant, but maybe something close. I could just sense things before learning the facts or the truth. I've had strange experiences my whole life. When I was younger, I would get this rush of euphoria, and for lack of a better word, love out of nowhere and for no reason. It was always very intense and lasted for several minutes, but it was a good experience. It felt like I was wrapped in an embrace of something powerful. I felt complete euphoria, happiness, and a sort of energy that was extremely powerful. When this would happen, it was like the world around me seemed brighter as well, like there was some sort of light that was being emitted from within everything, much like an aura. But even coming from an inanimate object, that's as best as I can describe it. It felt as though there was a presence, but it can't be certain, as I never actually saw anyone or anything of note besides the increased brightness of the world around me. It was just weird, and these incidences have always stuck out in my mind. But for whatever reason, hold on. I've had a similar experience. I'm gonna just ooh, intuition is crazy. I just predicted something, and it just happened. Maybe I'm clairvoyant, just maybe. Um, but I haven't had a similar experience since I was a child. Wait, I've hadn't had experience when I was a child. The last one I remember was when I was in first grade. However, that was the most powerful one of all, and I remember it vividly. I've always just felt different in a way I can't quite describe it. Not in a way that makes me special or anything. I don't want to come off believing that I'm someone special or better. I've just noticed I think differently, and I have always been a very deep and philosophical person. Ooh, I'm about to sneeze. Especially as I got older, I have stronger willpower. But I had deep thoughts and opinions as a child too. That has reminded me my entire life, and I still feel this way now as an adult. I've always been a searcher, one who is constantly searching for the meanings behind life and how everything. Boy, you just like everybody else, bruh. But I'm not gonna hate though. You might have a sixth sense or something. So with this story, there was a sort of build up to the actual event. It began as something simple but weird nonetheless. I noticed that when I was lying in my bed, it felt like my bed was slightly shaking. Like this one right here, shaking. Um, at first, I just dismissed it as being in my head, but as time went on, I became more and more certain that it was actually happening. Yep. I started paying more attention to it as a result. After a while, I began to feel something pressing on my back from within my mattress. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what it felt like. I tried my damn dude, damnedest. I tried my damnedest to ignore it and tell myself I was imagining it, but it continued regardless. Night after night, I felt what seemed like arms and hands slowly pushing up from inside my mattress on my back. I tried lying completely still and focus on something in my room so I could see whether or not I was actually being pushed upwards. To my surprise, I was. I could actually see my view of the item changing. Oh, that's crazy. Dude, bro, like, how much was you getting pushed, bro? Like, you're like, oh, I don't know. And you're like, literally, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely getting pushed up now. I see the bottom of this water bottle. Bro, you must have been at least like a foot in the air. But yeah, bro, that's crazy. But it continued night after night. I felt like my arm. Okay, yeah. To surprise I was, I could see my view of the item changing as I was pushed. Like I was baffled. I'd never been a believer or religious person. I always found a logic explanation or dismiss things as being my imagination. But this was different. I couldn't dismiss this as just my imagination. I was certain I could feel and see myself move. It was real. I chose to ignore it and hope it ended. I ever began to wonder if I was losing my mind. Yeah, bro. But this is definitely real. During this time, I started having nightmares of being chased and shot, which were extremely vivid. I felt the emotions and fear like I was there when shot. I felt the pain and burning of a bullet ripping through my back. Damn, dude. I even felt the heat of the bullet. I can remember the setting just as well if I had actually spent time there. The place seemed very familiar, yet I can't place it. I only feel that I know this place somehow. I also experienced several events where I wake up in sheer panic, consumed by fear, trapped in my room, which was unusually dark. By dark, I mean completely pitch black to where I literally couldn't see my way around. The room is my cat. During this event, I would jump out of my bed and frantically struggle to find my way to the door using my hands. I am beginning to feel very uncomfortable just talking about this part. I reminded of the fear and panic I felt that it turns my stomach into a knot It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I hope I can never experience it again. I can remember finding my door and collapsing to my knees once I was on the door in the hallway. It took me days to get feeling right again and get it out of my head enough to sleep, but I dreaded the nights for a long time. I still have a light in my room to this day. I'm 40 years old. It's not something I'm proud of. Damn, dude. This boy that's crazy. Okay, so this is the main event, bro. Now, in the main event, so I remember that I had been experiencing the same shaking in my bed and pushing before falling asleep that night. I had fallen asleep for some time, but I'm not sure how long. I have a tendency to wake up multiple times a night, and the night was different. This is going to sound cliche, but I woke at sometime around 3 a.m. and was just laying in bed thinking. I am not sure that the time has any bearing on the story, and I've been wondered if it did. Oh, I wondered if it did. I'm tripping. Perhaps the veil is between our world and the world beyond is truly thinner at this time. No. I remember I was wide awake and I was considering turning the TV on. That's when the pushing on my back started. Only this time it was stronger than usual, and I thought I could feel individual fingers. At this point, I was kind of over the whole thing. I was beginning to get angry and frustrated as well. I started kind of pushing back by shifting my weight and using my arms. Due to this, it seemed to stop for a time, so I turned on the TV and started watching Adult Swim. But suddenly, I felt something else. I felt like something had risen out of my mattress because it was brushing past my arms as it came out. I was confused when I felt it, but concerned because I just assumed in a moment it was my blanket or something. Nothing was visible, just sensation. Suddenly, it became clear that it was because I felt a hand grab my left arm tightly. I knew it was a hand because I could feel each finger as it collapsed itself onto my arm. It wasn't cold or hot, it was just neutral. All I felt was pressure. Immediately freaked out and rolled to my bed, which was close to my door. I remember my shock as my arm stayed firmly on the bed, but was able to rotate it in the grip of the hand as I rolled, just like if somebody grabbed your arm and hung on as you struggled to turn yourself free. Oh, I can remember thinking, saw my head for just a moment before trying to pull my arm. When I did pull my arm back, I remained stuck to the bed, and I could feel the grip tighten when I pulled. That's when my fight or flight response really kicked in. I chose to fight. I began to punch as hard as I could where I thought the hand on my arm would be in a dark room. Oh, that's crazy. It's dark, only lit by the television. It felt as though I was hitting something. The sensation I felt as my first hit was strange, like punching squishy air. After solid hits, I felt its hold release, and my arm was falling free. I merely turned to my bedside lamp and looked on my bed to find nothing. Nothing, just empty sheets. Yo, that's crazy, bro. Damn. I still try to understand this event. I still try to find ways to explain the logic. I want to brush it off as being something I imagined. That's a lie. It wasn't imaginary. It wasn't a dream either. I was told me to have faith. I've struggled my whole life. My motto has always been, I can't prove it's not real. Carr said, because extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That is what I live my life. But boy, I don't believe in church. My family attended. It was long. This event, I write it up later. I enjoy it. Damn, dude. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Ooh. That is actually insane, bro. The fact that he rolled off the bed and his hand was still glued to the bed. Yeah, that's